Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm grateful to have all of you here with us tonight to celebrate Shabbat this July 4th-ish weekend. I don't know if we can call it the July 4th weekend, but we're going to pretend. I also want to welcome those of you who are at home. It occurred to me as I was walking my dog this evening that there may be some people who are just do not want to open that door, or they opened their door, they felt the air, and they closed it again. So if that's you, we're glad you came to us via YouTube. We are going to begin our service. Before we have our opening song, I have an introductory reading, which many of you will find familiar, but I thought would be especially appropriate for this evening. The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, she cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless, the tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. We start tonight's service with the singing of Shalom Aleichem, page 24. השרת מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא יא לה 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 Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Yon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. La 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 Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Yon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. La 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 Shalom, Malachi Yon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. La 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 We continue with the lighting of, you know what? We're not doing that just yet. First, we're going to take a moment to greet one another. Stand up from your seat, reach across the aisle, say hello to someone maybe that you don't know well or that you haven't met before, and we'll join back together in a few moments. So friends, we're going to gather back together for the lighting of Shabbat candles. So if we could return to any seat, let's say your seat, but anybody can sit anywhere, I guess. And it's my pleasure to call forward Martina and Mike Obensky, who are lighting our candles and offering kiddush in honor of the yahrzeit of Mike's mother. And you can follow along with our blessing for candles on page 2.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Good. Keep going. Whatever you want to do. Mike will lead us in Kiddush, which can be found on page 5. Do you want this? Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh Zecher litziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'charta V'yatanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kadshecha B'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. We continue our service with the singing of Lecha Dodi. We welcome Shabbat into our midst as if the Shabbat is personified as a bride or a queen, as royalty, or one entering into a sacred space. Page 20, we will sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
L'cha l'cha doni, l'cha לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לה לה לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם תפארת ולתהילה. לה 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 לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי המקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לה 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 לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בורק ומיורי, הורי הורי שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לה 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 לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לה לה לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה.
We turn around and remain standing for the Baruch Hu, which can be found on page 28. Lai lai la lai lai, ya lai 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 la lai lai, ya lai ya lai lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai la lai lai, ya lai 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 la lai lai, ya lai ya lai 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 lai. Barechu et Adonai, Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Leolam, Leolam Vaed. Praise Adonai, to whom our praise is due. Praise Adonai, to whom our praise is due. Praise Adonai, to whom our praise is due, now and forever. Lai, lai, la, la, lai, ya, la, 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 lai, ya, la, 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 ya, la, lai, ya, la, ya, la, lai, ya, la, 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 lai, la, 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 la. We remain standing as we join together on page 31, pardon me. This is an hour of change Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadata. Together on 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meotecha v'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha vidibarta babam bishivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshachbecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayuletotafot Bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem le'Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet. In anticipation of the reading on 39, at the top, I want to point something out. We read it not infrequently, and it sort of sounds like it's a story about humanity coming together. But I want to take it smaller, and just based on some reading I've been doing this week, which was inspiring for me, I want us to think about what it means to take each other's hand, to walk the wandering way, not out there in the big world, but here. What does it mean to be a community, to show up for one another in times of joy and times of trial? I want to invite you that you had some chances to greet one another. We're going to have it again at the Oneg, and that hearing and being present for each other's stories is part of how we make the world whole, one person at a time. Please join with me at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
מי כמוך אלוהים אדוני, מי כמוך נגע בקודש, נורא תהילות, עושה פלא, מי כמוך אלוהים אדוני, מי כמוך נגע בקודש,
מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקעם לפני משה ומרים, זה ליאנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פד אדוני את יעקב, וגיהלום יד חזק ממנו. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Our prayer, asking as night falls for God's protection. Tonight we sing that intention, but we use the words to "O Guide My Steps," which can be found on page 373 of your Siddur.
O guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps, and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. O thrones aleinu, so kadshomecha. O thrones aleinu, so Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps, and help me take this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps, and guide my steps, and guide my steps.
We continue with a song for Shabbat. Yismachu can be found on page 44.
ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת, ישמחו במלכותך וקוראי עונג, ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת, ישמחו במלכותך וקוראי עונג. המקדשי שלי, כולם יסעו וילמדו me to למעשה, זכר למעשה בראשית. עמדת ימין אותו קראת, זכר למעשה, זכר למעשה בראשית. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת, ישמחו במלכותך בקורא עונג, ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת, ישמחו במלכותך בקורא עונג.
Okay, before we continue, your daily Hebrew lesson. Look at the words for Yismachu, and I wonder if somebody could tell us what that last word in the second line is. Oneg. What's an oneg? It's joy, it's delight. It's what we call that thing when we go in the other room and we eat yummy stuff, and we kibitz and we talk with one another. And also within this prayer, we have the on the fourth line, the second to last word. It's a little hard to see, but the word is vayit angu, and that is a verb made up of the word oneg. So basically, we need to oneg on Shabbat. That's what we're commanded to do. It's part of our observance. It's also part of what I was talking about before, about showing up and being present for one another, spending time together at a time in our week when we're not making stuff, we're not getting stuff, we're not acquiring stuff, we're just being with one another. Let us be with one another as we continue with the Amidah, which begins on page 46. Please rise. Sifatai tiftach ufia gitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Lifnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol Atah Rav Lehoshia. Mashrid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofe Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Meimit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukadoshim b'chol yom yahalalucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. You may be seated. Together in the middle of 54, you set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah, the heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God had completed the work that had been done, ceasing then on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, grant as our heritage your holy Shabbat, that Israel, who sanctifies your name, may rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. Together in English at the top of page 57. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yira navod. Can people hear me on this? Yeah, it's doing funky things. I might need new batteries. But that's what Shabbat is for, right? Recharging our batteries. I want us to take a moment and think of the things deep in each of our hearts for which we are grateful. Perhaps it's something that you think of all the time. Perhaps it's something that you forgot was a blessing until you took this quiet moment of Shabbat to reflect and remember. As you hold it in your mind, I'm going to invite anybody who wants to share something that they're grateful for in just a very few words, no big long stories. And then when you've shared that with us, we'll say together the beginning words of this prayer, the Hoda'ah, the prayer of thanksgiving. The words are, Modim anachnu lach, we give thanks. So I will start. I had a little time off last week, and time off is time off, but sometimes you actually find a way to have time off that's refreshing at a deeper level than you can exactly plan for. And so I'm grateful for that. Modim anachnu lach.
I'm grateful that Allentown didn't cancel the fireworks last night, but more importantly, I am grateful for the amazing KI community and how welcoming everyone was to guests that we had, and also great food.
Modim anachnu lach. Let me see if I got anyone. Okay, I can come back, but I just. Marty.
I'm grateful for how much natural beauty we still have in the Lehigh Valley and our parks and our surrounding countryside.
Modim anachnu lach.
I appreciate that the man who hit me in the rear today was not going any faster than he was.
Modim anachnu lach. Very glad you're well.
I'm grateful for the fact that my mom is out of the hospital and that my sister is with her. And I'm also glad that my dog finally ate a full meal.
Modim anachnu lach.
I'm grateful I had a chance to photograph the First Lady and the Philadelphia Eagles in just a couple days of each other.
Not at the same time. Modim anachnu lach. Pretty great.
I'm grateful to have a new job starting Monday at the Jewish Family Services.
Modim anachnu lach. We're glad. We're glad for your news.
I'm grateful the Jewish Family Service has you.
Modim anachnu lach. Well, if you did someone in the choir have something? You don't have to. Okay. So, if you didn't say anything, what? Okay.
I'm grateful for the choir and Karen.
Modim anachnu lach. So, even if you didn't share something aloud, I bet you have something you're grateful for. And so, I want you to sort of hold it in your heart, hold it in your mind, think of it as we say together, Modim anachnu lach. We pray silently. I'm going to tell you a story tonight. But usually when I tell a story, I like to walk in amongst you, but I think this microphone maybe needs some help. So I'm going to make sure that I'm up here so everybody at home and everybody here can hear. But I'm with you in spirit. So this week in our Torah, we're reading Parashat Korach, which is partway through the book of Bamidbar, the book of Numbers. And the story in Parashat Korach it's complicated, but the main events involve Korach and a band of followers, who's a member of the tribe of Levi, as well as two other leaders who have a band of followers named Datan and Aviram. They rebel against Moses' leadership, and they try to claim that everybody's holy before God. All the people are prophets. Why should you be lording it over the rest of us? Why is it that you're leading? And there's a lot of interesting things that we will discuss about this at Torah study tomorrow morning. But the thing that it brings up is the issue of leadership and how we think about leadership. I'll give you a hint about the end of the story. Korach and Datan and Abiram, they do not end up being the leaders of the people, to say the least. There's a big plague that falls upon them and all of their followers, and they're swallowed up by the earth. It's very dramatic. But basically, it's like, the thing about the Torah is that when you're telling a story, you know how you can have a narrator who is dishonest or lacks integrity? Well, God is usually the final word. And even if we struggle with that, that's usually how the Torah is understanding it. So the idea that there was opposition to Moses' leadership was a problem that God did not support. There was something about the way they were trying to lead that was not holy. And this reminds me of a story that comes from a midrash. And the story is about a snake. So this was if you saw this snake slithering by, you probably would not think much of it, except, oh, there's a snake. It was about 8 feet long, and it had a tail, and it had a head, and it did snake things, wandering about, trying to get food, looking for shelter, looking for a mate, doing all those snake things. But the strange thing about the snake is that it had a very special quality. And that special quality was that words came out of its mouth. It could talk. So as it hissed and stuck out its forked tongue, and spitting noises would come across its tongue, but oh boy, words did too. Now, I don't know about you, I haven't seen a talking snake recently. The last one I saw was in the Torah, and that was problematic, to say the least. But this snake had something even more unusual about it, which is that it also had words that came out of its tail. So it could talk from the front and from the back. So it would slither along doing its thing, and for years, the tail would faithfully, without protest, follow along as the head led the way, and found food and found shelter and all those things. And then one day, it all stopped. The tail refused to move. And the head was confused. The head, it said to the tail, what are you doing? We got to go. We have things to do. And the tail said, I'm not going to budge. I will not budge. Now, the head was annoyed, as you might imagine, but also confused and said, well, what's the matter? And the tail responded angrily, I'll tell you what's the matter. All these years, you've been leading us. You've led us through cold swamps. You've led us through muddy waters. You've led us through over hot rocks and up dangerous mountain crags. I'm tired of it. I want to be the leader. And the head said, what are you talking about? You're not the leader. I'm the leader. I'm the head. You're the tail. That's kind of the definition of head and tail, right? That the tail follows and the head leads. But the tail wouldn't budge. The tail wouldn't budge from its perspective, and it wouldn't budge from its spot unless it got to lead. So I don't know about you, but if my tail refused to budge, I don't know that my head could do much about it. Well, I would hope that my head could do something about it. But if the tail wasn't going to budge for the snake, there wasn't a lot that the head could do about it because it needed the tail's cooperation in order to make its way through the world. So it gave in after a while. And as you might imagine, the tail leading the snake through the world ran into some trouble. First, the snake found itself in a briar patch, pricked with every one of its thorns all over its hide. It hurt, and it was uncomfortable, and there was blood, and the head was so upset and tried to convince the tail that its leadership was not a good idea, that it needed to lead, the head needed to lead. But the tail would have none of it and continued to insist that the tail was the one that would lead. And in fact, the next place that they found themselves was even worse. So without a forked tongue to be able to taste the air or smell, without the eyes that the head beheld, that the head had, the tail couldn't do things like see that they were about to enter the nest of a mother bird with her chicks. Well, once they found themselves in that nest, the mother bird was none too happy and let them know it right away. She started flapping her wings and pecking at them, and they barely made it out alive. "When are you going to stop this foolishness?" asked the head. "You just don't want me to lead," said the tail. "You're just jealous because you led all those years and you think it should always be you. I'm doing a fine job and you're just going to have to get used to it." Well, they continued on their way, and they began to journey into the woods, led by the tail. And night fell, and the snake grew hungry. It was time to eat. And so the head, even though it wasn't leading, started to, use its tongue to kind of taste the air and figure out like where there might be food. But instead of smelling food, the snake tasted and smelled burning. And when the snake looked up, it saw just ahead, about 10 feet, was a huge bonfire in the middle of the forest. The head grew frantic and tried to convince the tail, "You have to stop, we're headed right towards a fire, we're gonna burn up." And the tail said, "This is just another one of your tricks to try and take away my leadership." And so they continued. The snake made its way to the middle of the bonfire and was no more. So the Midrash talks about this story in terms of leadership, much like the story of Korach talks about leadership. Lots of people want to be leaders. Lots of people want to be in charge. And the thing is, the Korach story challenges us to find out what it is that makes a good leader. But one thing that it does teach is that leadership does have qualities that are necessary to lead the community to good fortune, wellness, safety, and peace. The rabbis teach, you might disagree, but they teach that the generation does not create the leaders, but rather the leaders create the character of the generation. And so as we build community, as we think about leadership in our world, we have to think about whether or not we are finding a way to be led by the eyes of the snake, the tongue of the snake. The eyes and the tongue are parts of the snake's head, but they're really about wisdom and vision. They're about integrity and character and skill and knowing what lies just ahead on the road. This Shabbat of the 4th of July, it's hard not to think about leadership as we would any 4th of July. We happen to live in a country where we get a say in our leadership. And so I invite you to take seriously that our Torah has things to say about how we create that reality. Dig deep into its words. Find out the wisdom that it yields for you. May you use it, may we all use it to guide our way. At this point in our service, we take a moment to remember those who are being held hostage in Israel. It's been a number of weeks since I've actually read the list of hostages, and I'm going to do that again because I cycle back to it occasionally. And I know that when I first read it, many of you thought, wow, that's a really long list. And there were two things about the long list. One was, wow, we really sat here and listened to a long list. And the power of that length was chilling. Perhaps equally chilling is the fact that that list is so much smaller. I wish I could say that it was reduced by people being freed. And some of them were. But still, the list is too long, and we know that we've lost too many. So tonight, we think of Abraham Munder, Agam Berger, Alexander Lobanov, Sasha Alexander Trufanov, Alexander Danzig, Almog Sarusi, Alon Ohel, Arbel Yehud, Ariel Bibas, Ariel Konyo, Avraham Mengitsu, Avina Tan Or, Bar Avraham Cooperstein, Bipin Joshi, Carmel Gat, Daniela Gilboa, David Konyo, Doron Steinbrecher, Edan Alexander, Eden Yerushalmi, Eitan Moore, Eitan Horn, Elia Cohen, Elia Sharabi, Elkanah Bochbot, Emily Tehila Damari, Evyatar David, Gadi Moshe Moses, Gali Berman, Guy Gilboa Dalal, Karina Ariev, Kfir Bibas, Liri Elbag, Matan Zangauker, Matan Shachar Angrest, Maxim Herkin, Mohammed El Alatrash, Nama Levi, Nimrod Cohen, Oded Lifshitz, Ofer Calderon, Ohad Ben Ami, Ohad Yahalomi, Omer Shem Tov, Omer Wenkert, Omer Nutra, Omri Miran, Or Levi, Ori Danino, Kaid Farhan Al-Qadi, Rom Braslavsky, Romi Gonen, Sagui Dekelchen, Segev Kalfon, Shiri Bibas, Shlomo Mansour, Keith Shmuel Siegel, Tal Shoham, Tamir Nimrodi, Tzachi Idan, Hamza Al-Ziadna, Hisham Al-Sayed, Hersh Goldberg Poland, Idan Shtivi, Itzik Elgarat, Yagev Buchstab, Yair Horn, Yardain Bibas, Yosef Ohana, Yusuf Al-Ziadna, Ziv Berman. We join together in the singing of Shalu Shalom Yerushalayim, a prayer that peace may fall upon our land of Israel and the land of Jerusalem. You can find the words on your, in the insert that you received when you entered the room. Shalu
Yerushalayim, Shalom, Shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu Havai, Shalom, 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 Bimhera, Shalom, Shalom, B'yameinu, Shalom, Shalom, Yerushalayim, Shalom, Shalom, Yerushalayim, Shalom, Shalom, Yerushalayim, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.
We think of the hostages in Gaza, and we hope for their wellness and their healing, and we link their names to the names closer to home in our community who are in need of healing of body, healing of mind, and healing of spirit. We think of Robert Alexander, Mac Beeson, Karen Berta, Gershona Binyamina Bat Sara Valevi, Sam Bub, Chaya Shena Dinkabat Esther Bashava Yosef, Ellery Einstein, David Eiskowitz, Rivka Elkabat Root, Marianne Gardosky, Francis Gentlecore, Jamie Gordon Rodriguez, Ruth Eliana Bat Harav Shoshana Devora Umeira, Eliyahu Dov Ben Meira Veharav Shoshana Devora, Harav Rachel Bat Fruma, Emily Hochstedler, Nick Jelinski, Lisi Katz, Ray Loak, Monica Manella, Wilbur Nichols, Nissen Ben Yaakov, Karen Pfeiffer, John Pohl, Felice Price, Rebitzer David Rachmiel Ben Sara Valevi, Dr. Norm Sarachek, Susan Scares, Rose Schlossberg, Carolyn Silver, Jennifer Swistak, Julie Thomasis, Shmuel Yisrael Ben Chaim Ve'ester, Ethel Zager, and Marcy Zolkos. I invite you to add any names to this list, the names of anyone for whom you're praying for healing tonight. With hope for healing in our hearts, we join together in the Misha Berach. The version we're singing tonight is found in the insert.
Misha Berach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzhak veYaakov. Misha Berach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer. 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 And bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Misha berach avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mi sheberach imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel.
May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer.
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 Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
Source of blessing, we pray that you do indeed hear our prayer and bless us. Our service will continue with announcements, and I'd like to call Ken Kirshner forward to offer announcements. Do you not know this? Ken Kirshner, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
Good evening and Shabbat Shalom. That was very good. Thank you to Carol, Brennan, David for providing us with lovely music under Karen's direction. And thank you, Rabbi, for leading us into Shabbat. Join in tomorrow morning for Torah study at 9:30. Everybody is welcome. If you're joining us in person, use the 23rd Street entrance. Online, you can get the Zoom link by emailing John Perry at jperry@kilv.org. There is still time to sign up for the July 21st Women of KI sponsored trip to DeSales University to see the music The Color Purple. Rising 4th and 7th graders can sign up for one or both sessions of the Rabbi's Hebrew Camp, Sunday, July 14th, and or Thursday, July 25th. Surprisingly, the details and registration can be found on our website. Friday, July 26th, during our Shabbat service, we will honor all those with birthdays in the month of July with a blessing at the Bima and ice cream at the Oneg. A busy July closes with the return of the Progressive Dinner on July 27th, KI's Summer Soiree. You can find registration and information on our website and our weekly email, Let's Stay Connected. If you're not getting the weekly email, please notify John Perry. In case there's any confusion, a progressive dinner is not a political thing. Everyone is welcome. Thank you, Charlie. Please remember, in order to have your inscription on our new Torah covers, the office must receive your donation by Friday, July 26th. At the conclusion of tonight's service, please join us for our Oneg, catch up with old friends, and make some new friends. There is a reasonably complete list of just a short list of upcoming events in your circular tonight. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. A couple of extra announcements. So first of all, next week, the 19th, I'm going to have to start putting this on the announcements. The 19th, we'll be reading Torah. And if anybody would like to participate in the many honors that, any one of those the many honors that are involved in that service, please speak with Nancy There she is, Nancy Silver. Also, if anybody has been wanting to try their hand at chanting a little bit of Torah in any time, we would be happy to have volunteers, and you're welcome to choose any month in the future. It doesn't have to be soon. But we are also looking for people who are interested in chanting for the High Holy Days, which this year we hope to include High Holy Day Trope, which is a different chanting system. So if you feel like an interesting challenge, we are looking for volunteers and people who feel like this would be an honor that you'd want to take on. So we have time between the holidays, but the rabbi has already begun preparing. So I wanted to just let you know, and if you could let others who you think might be interested know, that would be really helpful. We are going to continue with Aleinu, and it's my pleasure to call forward to open the Ark Marvin and Sylvia Adler, who are celebrating this month, I guess, or no, yesterday, 2 days ago. Well, the first, I forget what date it is. The first celebrated their 58th anniversary. We rise for Aleinu, page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol la'atit gedula le'otzer breshit shelo asanu kugoye ha'aratzot la'osamanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'goralenu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad ushemo echad. You may be seated. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth. I know there are people in this room who are hurting, who are sorrowful, who are filled with grief. When we love someone, anytime they're taken from us, it's too soon. We wanted one other chance to laugh with them, one other glance your way, one other touch on the shoulder, or shared inside joke. We come to this place because we do not grieve alone. We are connected by an unseen thread to one another. We come to this community to hold each other up. We are present for times of joy, such as anniversaries and birthdays. But so much the more so must we show up and be present in the face of sometimes unspeakable loss. So as we prepare to say Kaddish, if you're mourning somebody for whom we're saying Kaddish tonight, or if you're here to say Kaddish for someone whose yahrzeit occurs this week, it is our custom to invite you to stand so that we might acknowledge your loss and offer you our support. But I want to reiterate that last part. Even if you do not stand, if it's not a day for you to stand, let us all bring our hearts to the suffering. Let us all feed the need for solace, held in the minds and spirits of those around us. We remember Jacob Ellis. Glad you're with us again tonight, Wendy. We also remember Helen Greenberg. And we remember those whose yahrzeits occur this week. Peretz Azef, Jeffrey Bayman. There seems to be confusion. If you'd like to stand, you may, if I read the name of someone, but you are certainly not required to do so. Simon Brown, Rosalind Brown, Joyce Cohen, Harold Kornfeld, Libby Eisenstadt, Jacob Eisler, Joshua Epstein, Meyer Feinberg, Rose Goldsmith, Roy Hertz, Ruth Karp, Kathy Kushner, Irving Levick, David Malakoff, Paul Milrod, Ann Obensky, David Orkin, David Roth, Sarah Spicer, Charles Sornamer, Tzipora Teitelman, Alex Weiner, Anna Weiner. I invite you to add any names to this list, the names of anyone for whom you are saying Kaddish tonight. Zichronam livracha. May their memories abide within us as an eternal blessing. Page 294, we join together as one congregation in the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, b'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyamechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam u'la'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudusha brichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel and all the world, and comfort to all who are bereaved, as together we say, Amen. You may be seated. So our closing song tonight can be found in your insert. It's one I think many of us know, and it is in honor of the 4th of July holiday that we just celebrated, and I invite you to sing along. This land is your land.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. As I was walking that human enough highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. I rode and rambled and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was singing. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
We are almost ready to conclude our service, and so I'd like to call forward Ray Livesey, who in honor of his birthday is going to lead us in Motzi. Please rise. So while Ray takes the first stab at the challah, which you'll get a chance to later, I want to offer this prayer for our country by Rabbi Ayelet Cohen. Our God and God of our ancestors, bless this country and all who dwell within it. Help us to experience the blessings of our lives and circumstances, to be vigilant, compassionate, and brave. Strengthen us when we are afraid. Help us to channel our anger so that it motivates us to action. Help us to feel our fears so that we do not become numb. Help us to be generous with others so that we raise up each other up. Help us to be humble in our fear, knowing that as vulnerable as we feel, there are those at greater risk, and that it is our holy work to stand by them. Help us to taste the sweetness of liberty, to not take for granted the freedoms won in generations past or in recent days, to heal and nourish our democracy that it may be like a tree planted by the water whose roots reach down to the stream. It need not fear drought when it comes. Its leaves are always green. Source of life, guide our leaders with righteousness. Strengthen their hearts, but keep them from hardening, that they may use their influence and authority to speak truth and act for justice. May all who dwell in this country share in its bounty, enjoy its freedoms, and be protected by its laws. May this nation use its power and wealth to be a voice for justice, peace, and equality for all who dwell on earth. May we be strong and have courage to be bold in our action and deep in our compassion, to discern when we must listen and when we must act, to uproot bigotry, intolerance, misogyny, racism, discrimination, and violence in all its forms, to celebrate the many faces of God reflected in the wondrous diversity of humanity, to welcome the stranger and the immigrant, and to honor the gifts of those who seek refuge and possibility here, as they have since before this nation was born. Let justice well up like waters, and righteousness like a mighty stream. As together we say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.